Great to see you. So we're going to start in just 2 minutes. And I don't know if it's Gosta or Svaha. If you can mute yourself, I'm not able to mute you. Sorry. No problem. Great. All right. So officially we start in 2 minutes. I'm just going to give people those last couple of minutes to get settled. We are going to start, I'll start with just a little bit of teaching, and then we'll start with some standing poses. And then you'll have it, I'll lead you in a nice long yoga nidra. So just prepare accordingly. You're welcome if you don't want to sit, or if you want to just be in bed or under your covers while you're listening to me talk, you're very welcome. This is your time. So just be relaxed. All right, welcome everyone. It is so nice to see you all. Some of you I know from different places, others of you are new faces, but I want to just give you a warm welcome. So glad that you're joining us for this Yoga Nidra time for yourself. And it's just nice to be connected. Many of you have a personal Yoga Nidra practice anyway, but there is something special about getting together and practicing together. So it just makes my heart happy to see you all and to be able to be with you. So those of you who I don't know, my name is Kamini. I've written a book called Yoga Nidra, The Art of Transformational Sleep. Of all the practices that I teach, this is my favorite. It is the simplest, it's the most profound, and I see real shifts happen in people from the very first time that they practice. And some of you are already Yoga Nidra facilitators, and you know what I mean when I say there's that moment when somebody comes out of a Nidra and they go, what was that? That's the amazing moment. It's like the miracle of, rather than trying to solve our problems and our worries and our fears with the mind, we're using Yoga Nidra to solve all that issue by going beyond the mind. And, you know, we can't think our way to freedom. We just keep on thinking. It just adds more thinking. But with Yoga Nidra, this is a way to get free of all of that stuff in the mind. But it sounds like when I'm talking that the mind is a bad thing. And actually what I wanted to talk about tonight to start us off was the idea that your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And I think we all have experience with that. There are times that our mind is totally working for us. We're clear, we're objective, we're balanced, we have clarity, we know what to do, we can see things, we can take care of the things around us, and it's like everything is in flow. And there are other times that it feels like our mind can be our worst enemy. So the issue is less about the mind and who is at the helm, who is in charge of the mind. And according to yogis, what they would say is that there is something, an abiding presence that is who we really are. It's always present even before the mind is there. And if you imagine this abiding presence like a sky, and through that sky moves the mind, moves our thoughts, and moves our emotions. And when we are in touch with this abiding self, we feel at peace. And just like that sky, we can let the clouds of situations and circumstances and busyness and worries, we can let all these come like clouds through the mind while we rest as the sky. But of course, we all know that there are times that we get disconnected. We forget that abiding self that we are, the sky of the self that we are. And we become identified. We get constricted around the worries and the fears. And then once we get in there, we just try to think our way out of it. And you've noticed that, if you're like me, you've noticed that when we get constricted, then our fears come in. And the mind that was once clear and balanced and operating at its best, it gets unclear, it gets indecisive, it gets fearful, and we get confused. We can't see the way out. So that's what I wanted to talk about tonight, and really about how Yoga Nidra is designed to make your mind your best friend rather than your worst enemy. So this is a little piece of teaching that comes from the trainings I give. And in the training, we talk about the mind itself and who is the boss of the mind. And it can either be this abiding self, or it can be unresolved things that are lodged deeper in our consciousness. And when these things remain unresolved, they can kind of stand in between the awareness that we are, the abiding self that we are, and our thinking and our feeling. So what happens is sometimes your mind is connected to your source, and sometimes your mind is connected to unresolved stuff that's deeper in your consciousness. And when it's connected to the source, that's when you have clarity, balance, certainty, faith. You also have access to intuition, inner knowing. You feel like you're in flow with life. Your mind is also just clear and focused, like you have the energy to do the work that you want to do. When the mind is under the control of our unresolved stuff, our incomplete past, then that same mind, instead of being imaginative and creative, it's still imaginative and creative, but it works against us. We imagine stories. We live from misinterpretations. We make assumptions and get worried about things that could happen or might happen. And we get lost down this rabbit hole of worries and fears. So it's still imagination, but we imagine the worst. We fear the worst. We worry about the worst. We make up stories in our head about what people are saying or thinking or all those kinds of things. So the idea is that it's not the mind that's a bad thing, but who is it serving? And what we want to do with Yoga Nidra is restore it to its original alignment with your source nature. And when you are working in alignment with your source nature, then that mind really begins to work for you. So that's kind of what we're going to be working with today. So if we go into a little bit more detail about the mind, I'm not going to talk about all the different aspects of the mind, but there are three major portions that I wanted to talk about. The first is that according to yoga, we have a higher mind and a lower mind. And the lower mind is not bad, but its job is to take in input from the senses. And we've talked about this before, how this mental body can get overwhelmed by the barrage of stuff that's coming in. We also have a higher mind, and this higher mind is really the very best qualities of your intellect, of your reason, of your analysis, your ability. You know how like you can look at your friends' issues and tell them exactly what they need to do because you have that objectivity. We even have that for ourselves when we have that connection to the source nature. So that is the intellect side of the higher mind. But the higher mind also has another side. It has the side of intuition. So we have a higher mind and a lower mind. Lower mind is taking in from the senses, eyes, ears, taste, touch, all that stuff. And the higher mind analyzes that information. But that higher mind not only has an intellect side, it has an intuition side. And this intuition side allows you to get a feel for people and situations and things And this is something that as you continue to practice, whether it's yoga or meditation or yoga nidra, you will notice that you are becoming more and more intuitive about people and situations. And you might even not notice that you're becoming intuitive because it's just so obvious to you where somebody is coming from or what their fears are or what's going on in a particular situation. You can see it so clearly, it almost feels like a fact. But in fact, it can be that you are seeing things that other people do not, because in your higher mind, you're beginning to access your intuition. So once through the process of yoga nidra, we realign with this sky-like nature of who we are, we begin to be able to access not only the best of our intellect, that clarity, certainty, faith, creativity, all of that, but you also at the same time begin to gain access to insight, intuition, knowing that doesn't come from anything that you learned in a book, it just drops in. And even at some points, you might feel like you're guided what to do, what to say, how to be, and it's just coming as a flow from within you. So yoga nidra is a great way to come back to that place when we feel that we've lost it, that we've gotten thrown off by something or triggered by something, or we've just had a very busy day and we're exhausted. Yoga nidra is a great way to help realign with your source nature and to receive the best of both your intellect and your intuition. And the way I'm going to present how we work with I Am Yoga Nidra is in 3 major stages. So the first stage of Yoga Nidra that we work with in I Am Yoga Nidra is what I call many to one. Okay, so in this stage of many to one, this is related to the principle of dharana or concentration. And the principle of yoga is if you have a very busy mind with all kinds of things in it, the first thing that we can do is use the principle of concentration to get all those thoughts down to one thought. That's what I mean by many to one. So in Yoga Nidra, we will use a series of body, breath, and awareness techniques that are designed to help you pull your awareness out of all this stuff, all of these clouds that may have been taking your awareness, and get you to focus just on breath in, breath out, or right shoulder, right elbow, right wrist. And by focusing your attention that way, you're automatically beginning to withdraw. You're automatically starting to quiet all that stuff, right? So it's getting many thoughts down to one thought. Then in I Am Yoga Nidra, we go a step further. So in some styles of Yoga Nidra, it's mostly concentration based. But in I Am Yoga Nidra, we actually go a couple of steps further. So the next one is from many to one, one to none. So there will be a point at which during your Yoga Nidra practice, either this time or at other times, where you're concentrating, you're following along, you're doing this stuff, and all of a sudden, the technique will allow you to transcend the technique itself. You will go into a place where you are beyond the technique and you have dropped into that abiding space of silence that you are. So instead of trying to do the technique, you have transcended it. And what we say in this style of Yoga Nidra is that's the whole point. So follow along with my guidance up to the point where you feel that your attention is dropping away into that silence and let it happen. So that is what I mean by, let's see, hang on. It was many to one, one to none. Or one to none means take the technique and allow it to drop you into that silent space. And then the final space that we can go to in Yoga Nidra is none to all. Okay. So at some point, what will happen is that even the individual sense of you, like you'll feel yourself, all of a sudden your thoughts will go away and you're in a space of silence. And at some point, the individual you dissolves into the whole. You are in a state of unification and harmony with the whole. And in this stage that I call none to all, it's like the individual you has dissolved into the whole. You are a part of the all. There is no individual you saying, I am here observing the silence, or I am here, wow, this is a nice yoga nidra. Even that disappears. You dissolve into that sky itself. So this is the process of that we use in I am yoga nidra. Many to one, that's concentration. One to none, which is transcending the technique, and then none to all. Transcending the technique allows you to merge into the whole and become one with that sky of awareness. And every time that you do that, and then when you come back from the yoga nidra, you will more and more be living with a mind that's interacting with this world, doing what it needs to do, but now connected with the sky of awareness that you are, that deep, silent presence that you are. And from this place, you will more and more find that you are guided by intellect and intuition. It's like two riverbanks that are guiding your life. It's not all intuition. It's not all just what you've learned or what you should do or how you've done it before. It's the combination of the two that leads you into a sense of being in flow with life. So keeping all that in mind, what I thought was tonight, I would guide you in some advanced techniques of Yoga Nidra, where we will be asking for clarity and guidance. And so just take a moment right now, just close your eyes for a moment. And see if there is an area that you would like clarity or guidance about. It could be a decision that you have to make or have already made, a relationship, something that's difficult, something that maybe you've been trying to think your way to a solution. And if you're not sure, just as I guide you in the Nidra, you can always see what comes up, but just see if there's anything right now that you would want clarity or guidance around. And this will be when I ask you to bring a situation into your awareness, this is what you will use. Okay. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. The other thing I want to prepare you for is we're going to be doing a breathing technique called the Ujjayi breath today. And we're going to be doing a variation of the Ujjayi breath. This is the ocean sounding breath that some of you may have learned before, but we're going to do a variation of it. And in this variation, you're going to be breathing in normally during the Yoga Nidra, and you're going to be exhaling with that ocean sounding breath. So we make the ocean sounding breath by constricting the back of the throat, just like as if you were fogging a mirror. So you can kind of feel where you're constricting that area of the throat. You can also make this sound by kind of constricting at the root of the nose, back in behind. So however feels most comfortable for you, but really what you're trying to do by constricting the back of the throat is to make that ocean sound, but in the most relaxed way possible. And slowing down the passage of breath, particularly the outgoing breath, is what is called langana. It is calming for the nervous system. And so because we want to calm the nervous system with Yoga Nidra, we're going to breathe in normally, and we're just going to do the Ujjayi breath on the exhaling breath, the ocean sound on the exhaling breath. And what this also does when you do this ocean sound is it increases the absorption of prana, the spirit force that's actually carried on the breath. It allows you to have maximum absorption of prana into the brain and into the rest of your body. So with that, let's begin with just a few stretches just to let go of our day and prepare for this Yoga Nidra. And let's start by coming up to a standing position. I'll just take a moment to readjust the camera. Okay, great. All right. So you won't be able to see everything that I do, but that's okay. You'll you'll see enough to figure out what I'm doing. So let's just begin by inhaling and bringing the arms overhead, interlacing the fingers, turning the palms inside out, and just opening the body over to one side. And then the other side. And just alternating from side to side. And just noticing how good it feels, even just such a simple stretch. And then pressing the hips forward, lifting the chest up just a little bit, creating a slight back bend. And then coming back to center and just slowly releasing the arms mindfully, allowing the arms to come back down at your sides. So we're going to begin with the 3-part yogic breath. This breath consists of a 3-part inhalation through the nose and a forceful exhalation through the mouth. So we're going to inhale 1/3 of the way, arms out in front. Inhale 2/3 of the way, arms out to the side. Inhale overhead, full breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to bend your knees and let the breath all the way out. You don't have to throw your body all the way down. You can definitely go down if you want to, but it's just enough to bend the knees and in a very relaxed way, just let the torso come forward. All right, so we're going to do a few rounds of this and take it at your own pace. And we'll begin inhaling up, out, up, and down. Last one, out, up, and down. And this time as you come down, just staying down. Just taking an easy forward bend. You can keep your knees bent or straight, whatever feels good for you. And then softening the knees. You can place the hands on the upper thighs if you wish for support. And rising up slowly. Let the breath out fully on your next exhalation. Just releasing any tension from the belly, the chest, and just allowing yourself to begin to reconnect with this body. Many thoughts, just to one, just body, just sensation. And then we'll do another round of this. Now you got the feel for it. So inhaling up, out, up, and down. Last one, out, up, and down. Coming all the way down just as you did before, but this time separate the feet, coming into an easy forward bend, bending the knees as much as you need to. And then just go ahead and bend into one knee, then the other. The feet are wider than hip width apart, so that you might even feel a little bit of an opening on your inner thighs, the backs of your legs. Release the top of the head towards the floor so your neck is relaxed. And now just begin to attune your attention to the sensation in your body. So you're not just doing the pose, but you're feeling it. Straightening both legs for a moment. Feeling the opening in the backs of the legs. Softening the knees and rising up slowly. Stepping the feet underneath the hips or to a comfortable position and just allowing the eyes to close if you have your balance. And just immediately notice that subtle shower of energy, blood streaming down from the head into the shoulders, arms, into the legs. And then opening the eyes once again. Stepping the feet wider than hip width apart. Turn the toes out a little bit. You're going to bend the knees and place your hands on your thighs just above the knees. And we're just going to press one shoulder forward, looking up over the opposite shoulder. And then coming to center, looking over the opposite shoulder. And just alternating from side to side, enjoying the opening in the spine. Maybe even a little stretch in the inner thighs. Just taking your time, finding any variations that your body wants to make. And then coming back to center, drawing the inner thighs together. Step the feet underneath you. And then once you have your balance, closing the eyes again. And just notice how the mind immediately begins to settle as it begins to disconnect from thoughts by reconnecting with sensation, your own body. And then go ahead and reach around behind you. Take hold of your right wrist, pulling down on your right wrist, tilting your head over to the left so that you can feel a nice opening through the whole right side of the neck. Breathing into that holding that you feel. And maybe even adjusting the position of your chin so that you can get maximum opening here. Now, using your breath and attention to move directly into the place where you feel the most tightness and holding. And just imagine that you're breathing out that tension that you feel, breathing it out with each exhaling breath. Just letting it all go with each exhaling breath. And then slowly coming back up to center. Release the arms for a moment. And just notice the difference between the right and the left side. And then moving over to the other side. Pulling down on the left wrist, tilting the head to the right. And just notice if this side is tighter or looser. Adjusting the chin, the position of the head so you can really get a good opening on this side. And then without pulling or forcing, just begin to deepen your breath. And send your awareness right to the center of the tension and holding. And then slowly coming back out, releasing the arms. Pausing for a moment. And just noticing, even now, perhaps sensing that silence behind the mind, the presence. And then for our last pose, go ahead and open the eyes once more. And this time we'll extend the arms straight out in front of you at shoulder height. The thumb and fingers are together for squat pose, Utkatasana. So the feet are about hip width apart. And think of this as a chair pose. So you'll take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend the knees and allow the hips to come out behind you as if you were sitting in a chair. Keep the chest lifted and slightly shift your weight back into your heels. You'll immediately notice that this increases the intensity. Now use your breath and see if you can stay connected with that silence that you just felt before. Breathing in fully, exhaling completely, seeing if you can challenge yourself to stay connected to that silence. Allowing the body to be engaged without struggle in the mind. One more breath in. And then as you feel complete, pressing the feet into the floor, rising up and releasing the arms, closing the eyes. And now just maintaining this inward state, go ahead and mindfully prepare yourself for Yoga Nidra. I'll give you a couple minutes. Definitely making sure that you're covered, your body temperature will drop. And maybe some height under the knees, some padding under the head, especially if you're on a hard surface, can be nice. And Helene, just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Okay, perfect. And just making any last minute adjustments. If you do have an eye pillow, you can go ahead and place that over your eyes. You can cover your arms if you like. We are going to be doing a technique called breath holding. So if you shouldn't be holding your breath for any reason, just pause momentarily at the top of the inhalation before you exhale again. So just hold the breath just for a moment instead of holding it for too long. And now allow your attention to turn inward. Close your eyes and quiet your mind. Be still. Let go of all thoughts, worry, and tension. Relax. Trust and let go. Breathe in fully and exhale with a deep sigh. And again, breathe in fully and let go even more. And feel a sense of peace and contentment begin to wash over you. Now, if you have an issue you would like clarity or resolution on, just bring it into your awareness now. Trust that whatever needs to happen will happen spontaneously and effortlessly. Let go of any effort to find any answers or make anything happen. Just bring the issue into your awareness. Now feel yourself in a place you like to be, a place where you feel peaceful and calm, relaxed and quiet. No concerns about the future or past. Simply an overwhelming experience of the rightness of things. Perhaps sitting on a beach, watching the waves meet the shore. The scent of salt air, the sound of seagulls. Trust whatever image arises in your awareness. Now choose a comfortable spot to sit or lie down. Perhaps a hollow in the sand that holds your shape. Let go into it. Surrender the weight of your body. Completely supported. No effort or need to hold yourself up. Breathe in the scent, sight, sounds of this place. Let the whole experience permeate your entire being, absorbed into each and every cell with each breath in and each breath out. Feeling through bodily sensations what it is to be safe and at peace, surrounded, protected in this place where you can deeply rest. Feel how restful and calm you are. Feeling more content, relaxed, more grounded than ever before. Know that you can return to your safe place anytime you want to or need to. Now follow my guidance as we take 3 deep breaths. Ready? Let's inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. And when prompted by the inner urge of the body, release the breath slow and steady. Breathing normally. Second breath now, inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. Allowing tension to build, holding a bit longer but without strain. And when prompted, release fully, expelling from the body what it no longer needs. Breathing normally. Deep-seated tensions leaving the body with the breath. Third breath, inhale together. Hold the breath in, closing off the throat. And holding even longer now, but without strain. Remain the neutral observer. And when prompted, release the breath, letting it all go until there's nothing left, until you're completely empty and open. Simply allow the breath to rise and fall in its own rhythm now. The breath progressively becoming quieter and more still until it's almost impossible to detect. As we enter this next phase of Yoga Nidra, remain as motionless as possible. If you need to move or make an adjustment, do so mindfully and return to stillness as soon as you're able. Resolve to remain awake, staying in touch with the sound of my voice. Allow your entire body to respond to my words directly and non-mentally. Allow any disturbances, external or internal, to draw you more deeply within. In Yoga Nidra, you enter the subconscious field of prana. Let your mind merge and melt into the energy body and go beyond the boundaries of body and mind. Now shift from thinking and doing to feeling and being. Do absolutely nothing from now on. Simply relax. Drop into the deepest state of tranquility, stillness and peace in the third eye. Now your consciousness is in direct communion with your energy body. Now bring your breath into awareness. Follow and feel the entire passage of breath as it moves in and out. This time, inhale through the nose. And as you exhale, gently contract the back of the throat, creating an ocean sound. Inhaling normally, exhaling with the ocean sound. Slowing the passage of breath without strain or struggle. Become absorbed in the sound and sensation of the exhaling breath. This time, as you inhale, pause for a moment at the top of the inhalation before exhaling with ujjayi, ocean sound. Again, inhale fully, pause, exhale, ocean sound. And continue on your own. Now, on your next breath, allow the breath to naturally pause at the top of the inhalation and at the bottom of the exhalation. Inhaling fully, pause at the top. Exhale and allow the breath to gradually terminate at the bottom. Inhaling fully, exhaling with the ocean sound. Pausing momentarily at the top of the inhalation and at the bottom of the exhalation. Allow attention to be drawn in with the breath up to the third eye. And as you exhale, allow attention to softly rest at the third eye, brow center. As you become more relaxed, the breath naturally becomes soft and shallow. Now breathe normally. And let go into the third eye. Melt and merge into the field of silence. And experience silence extending everywhere. Now follow my guidance as we move awareness through different parts of the body. Let your attention rest on each body part as I name it, without comment or judgment. All 10 toes, both ankles, both knees, pelvis, abdomen, chest, arms, throat, face, back of the head, shoulder blades, spine, buttocks, calves, heels, soles of the feet, sense the whole body from the top of the head to the tips of the toes. Whole body. Feel the whole body contained in vast, spacious awareness. Now sense the space around the right side of the body. Sense the space as it touches the skin boundary on the right side of the body. Sense the space around the left side of the body. Sense the space as it touches the skin boundary on the left side of the body. Sense the space as it touches the entire skin boundary. Experience the entirety of the body simultaneously and equally. Whole body breathing in. Whole body breathing out. You are both the space and the experience contained in it. One whole cohesive experience. Now surrender the weight of the body to gravity. Feel the whole body weighted sinking down. With each breath in, sense a cushion of vital energy surrounding and permeating the body until the entire body is felt as a pulsing, tingling energy field. Energy surrounding every cell of the body equally. Whole body breathing in, whole body breathing out. Life force growing with each breath in and each breath out. Sensing the shift now to the mental body, the mind. Notice the emptiness of the body, the silence of the mind. The mental field held in absolute stillness and inner tranquility. The mind has given up its internal dialogue. Thoughts and images moving through without comment or judgment. Remain the neutral observer, receiving what is exactly as it is, unconditioned by the past. Feel yourself freed from limiting tendencies and the unconscious forces of the past. You are now free to create your experience of life. You are the creator of your experience of life. Moving from conditioned knowledge to the knowing of the self within. Sense the light of the source illuminating the entire being. You have become one. The whole being, luminous, radiant, shining the light of illuminated consciousness. Now give yourself the permission to enter into the deepest level of relaxation right now. Let go. Nothing to do or achieve. Open, empty of all doing. Empty of all past, all future. Merge into this space and be empty. sensations, thoughts, and images floating by like clouds on a clear blue sky. Here, your intentions and affirmations are actualized and fulfilled with effortless ease. Allow yourself to receive the following intention, affirmation as I repeat it. Let your whole body listen to what I say. I open to receive inner guidance. I open to receive inner guidance. I open to receive inner guidance. Know that this affirmation has been heard and is being acted upon. There's no need for you to do anything about it. Establish yourself firmly in faith and trust to receive the grace, protection, and guidance of the higher self within. The more often you go to your source, the easier it will be to return and the longer you can stay. Feel the presence of your own spiritual guides surrounding you, blessing you. Accept their blessings and grace. Embody it and spread it wherever you go. Now you've prepared the base from where you can carry out interactions with life and interpersonal relationships with the integrative power of love and the source within. You are the emissary of light and love. Carry it everywhere you go and to everyone you meet. Recognizing at this sacred moment that your whole being has made a major paradigm shift, establishing yourself in total trust and faith that remains free from any need to be in control. Feel totally unburdened and free to move in life with effortless ease. And slowly begin to deepen your inhalations and exhalations. Allowing your inhalations to be a bit more full, exhalations a bit more complete. Becoming aware of the rising and falling of the breath. And slowly feel yourself beginning to rise to the surface of awareness. Take your time, there's no hurry. Sense the body resting on the floor. The quality of the air as it touches the skin. And only as you feel the impulse, gradually you can move as if waking from a restful sleep. Perhaps moving the fingers and toes, or stretching the arms and legs. If the impulse is to remain still, do so. Perhaps bending the knees, pulling them closer to the chest, rocking from side to side, or simply remaining where you are. And then, if you wish, you can turn onto your right side, curled into a fetal position, taking a moment to get comfortable here. And feel the safety, comfort, and protection of the womb of existence. Now bring this person or situation that you wanted clarity on into your awareness now. Hold that situation in the light of your neutral awareness. And simply asking, what is there for me to see or to know about this situation or person? If nothing arises, just trust that spirit is working for you. Now bring awareness back to the body and bring a deep sense of peace and contentment with you. If you wish, you can slowly use the strength of your arms to come up to a seated position or simply remain where you are. And if you're coming to a seat, just take a moment to get yourself comfortable so that you can sit here for 2 or 3 minutes. Simply observing how your attention is automatically and effortlessly held in meditation. The practice of meditation gives rise to the state of meditation, where you do nothing and it happens. We'll chant Om together, inhaling. Om. Again. Om. 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 Shanti. 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 Shanti means peace. May we know peace. May we live for peace. May our mind and heart be peaceful. And as you're ready, just bringing the hands together at heart center. And namaste, Jai Bhagwan, everyone. So good to be with you. So I hope that you will just get a good rest tonight. I will stay on for the last 5 minutes. If anyone has any questions, you're welcome to stay on, but you don't have to. Just feel free to roll over and go to bed or do whatever else you need to do. So good to be with you. Very welcome. Good. All right. Well, have a good night, everyone. And you're very welcome. Have a good rest. And we'll see you next time. Jai Bhagwan.